Every year I hit the desert in winter. I started years ago with the family, and then some friends, and last year I posted when I was gonna be there and I invited anyone that wanted to come hang out, and there were 12 of us. This year I did the same thing, our second annual desert meetup, and we had a much bigger group. One of my good friends even came all the way from the UK, bringing his UK winter weather over to California. At first, I thought maybe Mike brought a curse. Gas prices went up the day before we left. I hit a tumbleweed while I was driving on the 5. The mountain pass that we were gonna go over was closed and I had to go to the desert through Mojave. Things just were not looking optimistic.
Little pit stop, the gas station. Picked up some crunchy Cheetos.
Do you have those in the UK?
No, not Cheetos.
No Cheetos, okay.
No Cheetos.
Let's get your first impression of a good old God-fearing American Cheeto.
That was good.
All right.
Knick-knack.
Cheetos for the win.
Getting like 28 years later.
I've been telling Mike to expect weird desert stuff. Mike, what is this?
This is the weirdest desert stuff I've ever seen. Okay.
All right. I love this little town. This is one of my usual stops when I come out to 395. It's sort of a ghost town, and this year really felt like it because there was like nobody out. It felt like we were the only people who were in town, except the skeletons. Everyone in town loves these skeletons, and every year when I come back, there are more of them. For the first half of our time in Randsburg, it was really overcast and windy. I was shooting with my Q3 Monochrome for that reason. It felt like it was the right call. And ever since I got this camera, I've been thinking a lot about taste. In today's video, I'm gonna explore some of my favorite places out in the desert like Randsburg, and I'll take you to Darwin, Keeler, Lone Pine, Alabama Hills, and Fossil Falls. But really, this video is about taste, because it was a taste decision to use my Q3 Monochrome here in Randsburg. Right before sunset, the sun actually broke out and the town just came alive with color. So I switched to my M11-P with the 35 Summilux FLE. I want to take a minute and point out that this is literally all I brought on this multi-day, multi-location photo trip. Just 2 cameras with 2 fixed lenses. Why? Because taste is knowing what you are making. Skill is knowing how to use every lens in the bag. Taste is knowing when you really only need 2. Randsburg is an old mining town, and the abandoned mine is, like most things in the desert, just there. We drove up above the mine, And here are some of the last light photos I got from up there. You know that game you play when you're kids where one of your friends does something they shouldn't do and the other person is the lookout? I'm currently being the lookout for Mike.
That's got the sickest abandoned caravan photo of my life.
All right, let's see it.
Let's go check it. Wait for it. The sun right behind it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I found this little book. Had like a flower decoration on it. I like drawing inside. So cool.
We survived our first stop, we got some really great shots, and then we went back to Ridgecrest and we celebrated a very long day over some good old American food and beers, and then we hit the local pool hall. And all in all, it was a really great day one.
Biscuits and gravy today. What is gravy?
My coffee tastes like aquarium water.
That's
That's a good descriptor, huh?
Oh yeah.
Overnight, it snowed at any elevation over 4,000 feet, or 1,200 meters for the rest of the world. We made a quick stop on our way to the next spot that had the Sierras just completely in the background. It was really fun watching Mike get excited about every spot that we hit. Obviously, he's never seen anything like this, and it's pretty fun visiting a place that you already know through the eyes of somebody else. After we got some photos, we began to drive up to our main spot for the day, the ghost town of Darwin. And since Darwin sits above 4,000 feet, that meant snow in the desert. I have honestly never experienced this before. It was absolutely beautiful seeing the desert landscape with a blanket of snow on top of it. So it wasn't just Mike getting this first time experience, it was me too, and that was really cool. Darwin is such a cool town. It's bigger than Randsburg, but it's much more secluded. You're really only there if you went there intentionally. Like you wouldn't pass through it, you wouldn't even be aware of it either. The last time I was in Darwin, it was cloudy, and today it was very bright and sunny, and there was no shortage of things to photograph. As we were taking photos of an old camper, a man appeared on the horizon with his dog. I mean, he was just passing through. And I feel like that was pretty on brand for this area. While I was in Darwin, I also met a man named Tam who told me some of his life story, and then I asked if I could take a photo of him. I always really enjoy meeting the people and the places that I travel to. In a place like Darwin, there is an overwhelming amount of compositions. And even returning to this place multiple times, I'm still finding some new things, as well as going back and seeing some of my favorite things again. And that brings me to my next thought about taste, because taste is choosing what to notice. You have an eye, and you have a style, and one of the things that makes your style uniquely yours is how you choose what you're going to photograph. It was interesting walking around Darwin with Mike and Jen, because though we were all in the same place, we're all noticing different things. This isn't a varying degree of skill, it's really just a varying degree of taste. The more you develop your taste, the more consistent your photography will be no matter what you are shooting. That's why a street photographer like Mike can have fun and get incredible photos out here in the desert. And that's also why a travel and documentary photographer like me can have fun with Mike when I went and hung out with him in London, because it's all just about taste. Once we finished up in Darwin, we headed back to Ridgecrest and we went for a photo walk around the town. Now, Ridgecrest is not a ghost town. It's actually the largest town out in the eastern Sierras. Ridgecrest actually has some shops and diners and restaurants and hotels, so it was a good home base for our group meetup. We had so many people come out to the desert for this that we actually took over an entire restaurant. It was awesome seeing so many photographers coming together for a few days of just having fun with photography. I have two goals with this channel. One is to raise the water level for photography where all the ships get to rise with it, and the other is to build life-giving community. My heart was just really full watching all of this happen at this meetup. You got it? Right side? Just wherever you see room, yep. It was an early morning to get to Alabama Hills for sunrise. On the way there, I got all the tea about the royal family, and when we arrived at Alabama Hills, we found the entire area just completely covered in snow. It was beautiful, but a cloud had hidden the mountains. And I really don't think it mattered too much though. Like, everyone was just having a blast being together and being out there on this adventure.
Where are the streets, Dave? Where's the nearest coffee shop?
The coffee shop is in the back of my car. So after our attempt at a sunrise, we hit a diner in Lone Pine for a quick breakfast, but of course headed down the street for some real coffee afterwards. And while we were in that coffee shop, a snowstorm blew in. I mean, it got really snowy really fast. So once again, I pulled out the Q3 Monochrome. Very snowy. Very snowy. So in the middle of this snowstorm, my friend Jason went north to our next spot to check out what the roads were like, and he reported back that they were just like not good. Visibility was really poor. So he came back to Lone Pine, and then I had him go ahead to our next spot after that, which is Keeler. Now Keeler is only 15 minutes from Lone Pine, but again, visibility did not look good.
No, like after 3 or 4 miles on the road to Keeler, like it becomes bone dry.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, we're on our way there. Seriously, this is the worst.
No way.
It's the worst. So it didn't look like it was going to be dry, but when we got to Keeler, it actually was. Now, it wasn't pretty, but Keeler itself isn't pretty. This is a very abandoned ghost town. It's somewhere between time capsule and junkyard. There is some cool history there though, like back when the town was a thriving community with a pool and plenty of life. And if you go even further back, the town was connected to the Cerro Gordo mine, which sits above Keeler. A lake was once right outside of town, and today that lake is dry, and the dust is fairly toxic, so the state of California keeps a thin layer of water on it to prevent that dust from blowing around. And the people of Keeler, they all left, and they left everything behind. A broken window is an invitation. Now, as I mentioned in Darwin, choosing what to notice is what I'm applying here. So what's interesting, what raises an eyebrow, what communicates balance and symmetry, this is all part of our taste. And even with a big group in Keeler, we're all spread out searching for what tastes good to each of us. So thanks to the ever-changing winter weather and wind, we had to call an audible. Winds were sustained at 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 40 miles an hour at Trona Pinnacles. Last year, we had our group sunset there and we stayed and everybody just hung out. It was a great time just to connect with other photographers. This year, I had planned to do the same thing, but the wind was just completely nuts. And so we called an audible and we moved over to the Cindercone in Fossil Falls area, where it was still windy, just less. This photo was just our group on a dried ancient lake bed at the foot of an ancient volcano. We had a great group and a great time hanging out together. We were a group from all different places and ages and backgrounds, all together for the love of photography. Some just getting started in their journey and others with several decades behind them. And that brings me to my final thought about taste. And that is that taste is acquired. Not in the sense that you just started drinking black coffee or IPAs, but in the sense that taste is something that develops over time. Taste does not come from your gear, but from your experience and experiences. You put in the steps and the shutter presses, and your taste gets more and more refined. That's what's so special about meetups like this. You have so many people come together with different experiences and sharing it all with each other. I mean, it's like rocket fuel for personal development. The meetup continued into another day with the group hitting Red Rock Canyon State Park, making it out to Trona, and then everybody got to experience Randsburg for a cookout with the local bar. It was an incredible trip for everyone that came out. And I hope that you can make it out to one of these meetups someday. You can always get info by following along at any of the links below or at the QR code on the screen right now. Later this year, I'll be leading 3 workshops, and those are different than meetups. But if you want to work on refining your taste, check out the workshops listed at shopverygood.com or again on the QR code right on the screen. It was awesome hitting the desert with good friends and good photography, and I can't wait to get back out there soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a like, and if you are not subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.